Hello friend, welcome back. In your previous video, I have discussed about that view event. Okay, so that is our view event with the on-click event. So how can do that work? I have discussed about that things with you. So now in this video, I want to discuss about that event object. So how can working with the event object? In this video, I will show you that things with a live example. For doing this better, that is our class 5. So I just click new file, click on the save as, and I just name it as a class. Okay, I just name it as a class5.html. So I just simply save it. So that is our class 5. Better, I just copy all the things from our class 2, and that is 5. So right now we don't need this. I just simply paste it in on here. Okay, so here we don't need this. I just remove it, and also that is our method. So I don't need any method. I just simply remove that method. So that is our last one. Perfect. So now then I just define as our event, okay, event object. So I just simply define as event object. So now click on the save all. And now if you go here, so that is our project directory, that is class 5. So I just simply open our class 5. So that is our event object. Perfect. So now here, if you want to display all that event object, then how can display it? Like here, that is our Kazi. Better I want to define one of the button. I just simply define one of the button. Into this button area, I define our event. So I have already discussed about that things with you. Here I want to define one of the click event. Okay, I just simply define that click. And into the click event here, I want to create one of the method. I just name it method as a me. So right now I just simply defining it, and also I define one of the button name as a click. Okay, click here. So I just simply define one of the button. So now we have to create this method, right? There is a me method. I want to create it in our method area. So into this method, I want to create one of the method as a me. So I just simply define that method. So that is our me method. So into this method area, I want to define one of the argument, and here I define as the event. Okay, whatever you want, you can use it as an event, or rather than you can only use that E, whatever you want. So right now I just simply define as the event. Okay, I just simply define as the event, and into this event here, if you want to display it, like I just define with the console log. Okay, I just simply define the console log, and in particular that position you have to define your all that parameters. So here I simply define that parameter on particular that position as event. Okay, so now what exactly it should be do? So when you click as a click event, then all that this event object it should be displayed with this console log. Like if you click on the save all, now go to your page, and here just refresh it. Now open your inspect, and into the inspect, if you go to your console, and now here if you click as a click here, yes, you can see it's now showing your on mouse all that event object. So there have a lot of the things. If you click on here, you can see they have a lot of the things. There is an offset X, there is an offset Y, there is a mouse, there is a layer, there is a type as a click, and there is a target as a button. You can see there is a when you select it, it's automatically display as a button. So all that object details it's now display. So when you create that project, then it should be important one of the part. Okay, if you want to display all that your object, I will show you how can do that work. When you will create this project, it should be needed. So friend, for the reasons here, I created this fundamental section. So everything we will use it in our real project. Okay, so then it should be very much interactive. Now you can see it's now display all that our mouse event, all that object perfectly in particular that area. And here also, if you want to display your all that is skin X, Y, what exactly that means. Like here you can see there is actually moves X and the moves Y, that is actually offset X and offset Y. That means X means this position, that means how many length actually for this one, that there is offset X is 36, that means the 30 pixel is left in particular that area, and Y, that means this gap is the 9. So if you also want to display it more clearly, I will show you. Then it will be very much clear to you. Like here, that is our events. So here, okay, better I just take one of the another div. I just take another div, and in particular that div I just define on the class, and I just take that class name as a canvas. Okay, I just name it as a canvas. So now I want to create one of the style sheet for this one. Like here, Here I define all the style, and here I define that style. Okay, so now it should be very much clear to you why I'm actually using it. Like I just define all the style, and here I define all the class as a canvas. So I just define that canvas. So that is our class, and into this class here I define some of the height. I just define height as a 240 pixel. Okay, I just simply define as a 240 pixel, and wide I just define as a 240. I also define as a 240 pixel, and I just define on the margin top, and into the margin top here I define as a 20 pixel. So I just simply added that 20 pixel. And also if you want to add some of the background color, you can use that background color as orange. Okay, I just simply define as a orange will be our background color. So now if you click on the save all, like I just click on the save all, here I define the tape. So now I just refresh it. Now you can see they have some of the box. So now I want to do in our property, that means in our data property, here I want to define one of the property as a log. Okay, so I just simply define one of the property, and into this position now I want to add some of the object. So in our that property, that means our log property, I want to define some of the object, and here I define object as a x. So for the x I want to define one of the value as a 0 value, and also for the y, so here I take another one, I take another object, and for the y I also define as a 0. Okay, so in our data property I have created another property as a log property. Into this position I define some of the object as a x. If for the x I just define as a 0 value, y for the 0 value. So now I want to visible two of these objects. So here in our canvas, okay, so in particular that position I want to visible it. So I think you already know about it. So I just simply define with this log and then our x. Okay, and also I want to do another one, and here I define as a log, because into this log I define another object as a y. So I just simply define that as a y. So now into this class, that means in our canvas class, here I want to use one of the event, and here I want to use another event as a mouse move. So if you want to use it, then you have to define with the @ and the mouse. Okay, mouse move. So this is the event I want to add, and here I define one of the method, and I just name that method as a over. Okay, so I just simply added that method as a over. So now we have to add that method, that means this over method. So that is our me method, and after this here I want to take another one. Okay, so if you want to add another one, then you have to add that comma. So after that I want to define our method as a over method. So I just simply create our method. So into this method here, first of all I want to define our argument. Like here you can use that event as an event, or rather then you can also use that e. Okay, so now also here I want to define one of the alert. Like here if you put your cursor in, then it should be show some of the alert. So I want to actually find out a specific this event details. If you go here, there have also offset x. You can see there is an offset x as a 35 and the offset y as a 10. So now I want to actually interactive that part. If you put your cursor, automatically it should be display your all that offset x appropriate data, that means the pixel data. Okay, so here I want to do it. So first of all I want to check it with our alert. So I just simply define as alert. Okay, I just simply define that alert, and here I want to display our alert type. I just simply define as a done. Okay, this type of message it should be display. So here I just define that method, so it should be work. Like I just click on the save all. Now click on the save all and now refresh it. Now you can see it's now showing as 00. But if you put your cursor, you can see it's now showing that alert. You can see that is actually perfectly display that alert. So now here I want to display all that our offset x data. That means here that is our event. So right now I remove it, and now also if you want to define that event, so here I define our this property, right? And also I define our this object. So if you want to use it, then what exactly you have to do? If you want to use that your property data in your method area, then you have to define that things with this, right? So I just simply define this, and into this I just define our log and then our object. So I just simply define that this, and our property, that means our log property, and then our object as a X. So here I defined that this one within our event. So I just simply define that event, and into the event our object was actually offset. So I just simply define as offset X, and also there is another one. I just simply copy it, and here I have just something to do and define another one. So this one will be as our this log Y. So I just simply define that Y. Okay, I just simply define Y, and that will be as event offset Y. So I just simply define that object name as a Y. So now if you click on the save all, I just click on the save all, and now if you refresh it, I just refresh it, and now if you put your cursor, yes, you can see it's now showing our all that X data, and that is our all that Y data. So that is the event I just defined. So if you click on here, then will be as a mouse event. Into the mouse event, here you can see they have our offset. So that is the things I just added in particular that position. That is our events. Into the events there are field. So our field is offset X and offset Y. So for the reasons here you can see with this X log, I just define as event, our event, that is our offset X, and that is our offset Y. So for the reasons these two of this field data is now totally dynamic. So now we can actually visible it. You can see that is our X all the data, and that is our all that Y data. So now we can actually manage our all that event object. I think is very much clear to you. So here I define our method as our method, and also here I define our on mouse. So that is a mouse move, and to the mouse move I define that method area. So that is our X data, and that is our Y data. So now it's perfectly updated. So that's how you can manage your all that events object. And also they have the another events, that is a keyboard event. So better I want to continue this process. In our next video I will discuss about that how you can manage your keyboard events. Then it will be very much interactive. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.